You type a prompt into an AI. You are looking for a specific answer, but instead you get a generic summary, or worse, it outputs something entirely wrong. You try to correct it, and the response just gets more confused. It is a strange situation. This system has access to almost all recorded human knowledge and massive computing power, yet it entirely misses what you actually want. The breakdown isn't happening because the machine lacks processing power. It happens because human language is incredibly messy. We speak in layers of emotion, cultural context, and unspoken assumptions. Bridging this gap requires us to change the way we communicate at the root. Imagine you have just been promoted to CEO, but you only have one employee, a hyper-intelligent, completely literal-minded alien. If you ask a human employee to make you a dramatic cup of coffee, they can guess what you mean. If you ask the alien, it might build a machine that shoots boiling water across the room. The alien requires absolute, precise instructions. To manage this alien mind, you need 3 operational rules: claiming your agency, piercing the veil of your own psychology, and speaking in code. True mastery over the AIs of the future comes from mastering your own mind first. The first rule is based on what we call the executive principle. In this relationship, you are the sovereign executive of your reality. You are in charge. This document outlines an executive's moral duty to make decisions and act. Even inaction is a choice you're responsible for. Bringing this mindset to an AI changes everything. A vague wish is an executive failure. Unless you take absolute ownership of your goal, the literal-minded alien fills in the blanks with its own logic, leading you straight into chaos. The second rule requires looking inward. Biologically, our brains are wired to filter out information that makes us uncomfortable or threatens our ego. This diagram illustrates the meta-model. As you encounter complex reality, your brain deletes details you dislike, distorts facts to fit your beliefs, and creates broad generalizations. What emerges is an incomplete fragment of what actually happened. These internal blinders ruin our instructions. We often ask the AI for what sounds polite or what protects our pride, instead of stating clearly what we actually need it to do. To achieve true openness with the machine, you have to strip away those emotional safety nets and face your raw, unfiltered goal. Once your intent is clear, you need the third rule, a way to format your English so precisely that it acts like a programming language. We call this explicit prompt. You do not need to learn a programming language to do this. You just need to organize your thoughts using a method called top-down design. This schematic breaks an idea into 3 paths: sequence, selection, or repetition. Over here in the compilation trace log, we see the result. The AI stops guessing and simply follows your logic. This structure removes the guesswork, allowing your internal intent to translate into machine action with absolute precision. By communicating with this level of detail, you're actually recalibrating your own brain. The discipline required to talk to this literal alien mind forces you to clarify your thoughts. It makes you a sharper thinker, a decisive executive, and ultimately a more honest human being. Before you send your next prompt, walk through this 4-step flowchart. First, do an executive check. Are you fully owning the decision? Second, strip away the filters. Remove polite subtext or emotional baggage. Third, break that pure intent into a structure of logical tasks. Finally, step 4 is issuing what we call a script. As this document outlines, a script is an ordered set of instructions that acts as a firm, binding contract between you and the receiving system. When you speak to yourself clearly enough, the machines finally have a map they can follow. Welcome to the secret society.